Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Trails Through Daybreak, where we're looking through the Institute right now. If you need anything from me, I'll just be reading here. We do have plenty of papers here, though. I don't know enough about them to make any recommendations. Do handle them with care, though. They're very important papers. Sounds like plenty of students and faculty come this way. That tracks. Maybe he's overheard a word or two about the allegations.
Can we talk? Alrighty.
A power-tripping professor, you say? Well, if it were anybody, I'd put my money on Cronkite. He's awfully quick to dismiss people. Hearty, in a word. Kind and helpful aren't exactly synonymous with him, at least from what I've seen and heard.
I see. Have you heard about anything about the other professors that might relate to those allegations?
Let me think now. Well, I can't see Professor Rulia doing anything like that. She's just a bundle of sunshine, not a mean bone in her body. Sometimes I even see her in picking up research materials for her students. And this Professor Callahan, he's always made a point of helping out his assistants. He's certainly not a bad person in my view, but he's gotten a bit of a bad rap after his work went south.
Thank you for sharing your experience with us. We greatly appreciate it. Oh, I remember seeing you at the Orbital Cafe in Edith. I live over here in Basel. I didn't expect to see you here too. My family lives over in the capital, so I'm out there a lot both to visit them and to do my civil engineering research. I'll be cooped up here for a while though. I've got a big paper to finish up.
She's a student here, huh? You should try talking to her.
Let me ask you something.
A professor abusing their authority? That's a bit of a stretch to me, not gonna lie. I can say for certain that Professor Cronkite and Professor Tane would never do anything like that. It can't be them.
What makes you so sure?
Well, so Professor Cronkite is a man of few words, so he can come across as scary. But he means well, really. I mean, he's one of the greatest minds of our time. He lives and breathes science. And then Professor Tyan is just really friendly to everybody. He's always looking out for people. He's known the world over for his work in civil engineering and urban planning. The Basel Institute of Science certainly earns its reputation. Its faculty are all accomplished scientists and engineers in their own right. Lots of famous people come to study and lecture here. Professor Callahan's a real celebrity too. He's a real whiz when it comes to mechanical engineering. He's the brain behind the military's new weapons. Last I heard, though, his new proposal got shot down in favor of someone else's. He didn't really take that very well. But he's bounced back. From what I can tell, he's really putting his all into his new project. I'm really humbled to get to work with so many hardworking and talented people.
Hardworking and talented people can still be assholes. Are they good people? Is what we're asking.
Could you maybe have phrased that a little less aggressively?
Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us. You were a big help. I work as an assistant. No, let's give him a normal voice. I work as an assistant in Professor Archita's lab over there. I've noticed some troubling things coming out of the other labs, though. This one woman, she's looked absolutely drained. I wish there was something I could do to help her, but I really shouldn't go butting into other people's lab business. I just hope she has someone she can talk to, be it a coworker or a professor, anyone. That's a bit fishy there. I have to ask him.
Can we talk?
The workplace harassment? Goodness. I've heard these bits and pieces, but I'm a bit nervous to talk about it. We won't tell anyone, don't worry. Anything helps. I've heard loud shouting from one of the other labs, yeah. It stunned me out of the work I was doing. I heard stuff like, "You idiots, can't you do anything right?" and "You're a disgrace to the Institute, get out!" He's just flashing out at everything and everyone now. It's really disturbing. Which professor was the one doing that? I can't really say. Sorry, if they find out it was me, I'd have hell to pay for. It's really gnawing at me. The abuse is only getting worse and worse, from what I'm told. I've heard the works. Fatigue, depression, exhaustion, even a couple researchers fainting on the job. That whole department looks visibly shaken these days. The stress is just too much for them. I worry though I'll end up like Sydney.
Sydney? What happened to her?
She's at her breaking point. From what I hear, I hardly see her at the Institute anymore. We've all been trying to support her however we can, but it's rough. It really is. Damn, yeah. That ain't good. So, who's the professor helping her out? You know, out of curiosity? That would be Professor Esmeria, or Esmery. She's in the bioengineering department. She's known the world over for her cutting-edge research. A real upstanding woman. She's always up to her neck in her own work, though. She probably doesn't need to know the extent of an abuse at the labs.
Yeah, thanks for filling us in. It still helps a lot. Alright, I think we combed this area over. Let's go sit down somewhere and try piecing things together.
I recommend that open space at the front of the Institute grounds. I saw some benches there that we could use.
Sounds like a plan to me. Alright, we about ready to sit down and get cracking? Well, that was pretty good. We got our hands on some nice info here.
We learned a lot of the professor's names, too. There's Professor Callahan, the Engineering Science Authority, Professor Aurelia in the Chemistry Department.
Alright. Last and first. Just remember that. Just gotta remember stuff, that's all.
Professor Cronkite, a well-respected expert in physics and orbital engineering, and Professor Tian, an architectural researcher.
And then one Professor Esmere over in bio. They all sound really capable, but of course, the stat sheets don't tell the whole story. They all sound like oddballs. I think we can pretty safely narrow the perp down to one of those 5.
I agree. We have pretty strong evidence to suggest that.
Alright, let's take our evidence from the top. All the people we talked to, all the testimonies, they all had this one thing in common.
I see what you mean.
They didn't name the abuser.
Yeah.
Not a single one named the culprit. Some of those guys knew who it was, but it kept sounding like they were too scared to name him. Would have made our job a hell of a lot easier if they just named the guy, but no.
Yeah, now that you mention it, that is kind of weird. I can understand not wanting to be labeled a snitch, but it felt like there was more to it than that. They were afraid of the culprit, but you could tell they respected them too. They didn't want to sully this professor's good name.
And some people said the guy wasn't always like that. Something changed. Probably the conflict over that proposal we heard about. Something about hard feelings. The one guy said they had a crunch after the proposal fell through. Telltale sign of abuse to me.
That does seem likely, though we can't say for certain what changed the professor's behavior. That would be a reasonable explanation. That said, no circumstances justify such an abuse of power and status. This professor is truly incorrigible. So, who do you think the culprit is?
Yeah, you asked me, there's only one professor who fits the bill.
By God, it can't be. Professor
Aurelia, the nice... No. It's Callahan. Okay. Professor Callahan's our guy.
He's one of the foremost authorities on engineering science, perhaps the smartest man in the world. I've seen him in the papers plenty of times before. He's always described as a savant. Notably, he helped modernize the military's weapons and equipment.
He's got revenge on the mind. So, it sounds like some other professors one-upped him, and that's got him pissed. I guess it sucks, but you'd think a world-renowned scientist would be less childish. You know a thing or two about acting like a child, wouldn't you? I don't know, you usually call me a grandpa. Which is it, bud?
Is now the time? So, what do we do now?
I don't know, I'm just laughing at that.
We all have the recordings of the people we talked to. That all points to Professor Callaghan being the suspect. Callahan.
So, what's our next move? Do we just hunt his ass down and give them the tapes? Wait, give him the tapes? Nah, I'm thinking we get Professor Callahan's opinion on it without accusing him directly. We nudge him in the right direction and he might just turn himself in.
What do you mean?
Simple. Simple. We tell him about these abuse rumors going around and we talk about all the exhausted students, and he connects the dots on his own. Failing that, well, we already know it's him. He's bound to figure out his reputation on the line. The more he hears about it, if he's smart, he'll fess up. So that's what we do. We give him a subtle little nudge, and all he does is work at Elzyme, and he does all the work that Elzyme wanted for us. 2 birds with 1 stone right there.
That sounds really schemy. I'm not so sure we're the good guys all of a sudden. It is quintessentially Spriggan-like way of solving things.
Fine by me. To the Power Tripper's lab, then. Actually, where the hell is it? I don't remember seeing him while we were taking our tour.
I suspect it's in the Special Research Building. We'll need some form of clearance to enter, of course. We passed by a door of the guard in front of it earlier. They won't let any ordinary civilian inside. I suspect we would need an A-rank card, at the very least. It was hard enough to get us to C rank. I think getting an A-rank one is off the table. What should we do then? Maybe wait for him to leave the building and ambush him?
Old Van's the man with the plan. All that matters is that we get inside the building. Doesn't matter how we do it. And being a Spriggan, I got a few tricks up my sleeve.
Van, you're kinda scaring me with that smile. We defer to you. What's your strategy, Master Spriggan?
So first, we just roll up to the building like anybody else would. Once we get there, we convince the guard to let us in. Just act naturally and we're golden.
Planner launched.
Excuse me, is this where we can find Professor Callahan? We're here to speak with him. Right, yes. May I see your card, sir? Of course. Van handed over his card. C rank. I'm sorry, sir, but I can't let you in without proper security clearance. If you don't mind me asking, what business do you have with him to begin with? Why do you ask? We're on behalf of the Principality of Elzyme. We figured there was an appointment for us, but we just found out that they didn't set up anything. Sorry for the inconvenience. We want to inquire about Professor Callahan's new research. It's got our investors' interest. His findings have seismic implications. Even the Zypher Revolution would be small potatoes compared to this. So we looked into meeting with him and collaborating on his research. Only to learn that Marduk was interested in the same thing. So now we got ourselves a 3-way partnership here.
I am here on the Marduk Company's behalf. I'm a concierge in their employ.
So you're meeting with him to discuss a grant, is this right? I'm a bit surprised to hear both Elzyme and Marduk are collaborating on this, but, well, stranger things have happened, I guess. I apologize for the inconvenience. That said, who are these children with you? Surely they're not employees.
Pardon? I'm not a kid, I'm just short.
They're associates of Elzyme VIP. Pardon them. They're on Elzyme's behalf as well, so they're looking to sit in on our meeting. This is just a little awkward, though. We came all the way from Elzyme just to get turned away at the door? I'm not so sure what to tell them when we get back home. I really am sorry. There's clearly been some kind of mix-up here. Your arrangements might have been lost in the shuffle with all your LMS students' visits. You must have been issued the same rank card as them by mistake. I'll go clear this up with the professor. 1 minute, please. Of course, we'll be waiting.
You sure you're okay with him calling your bluff?
Of course. We see to turn down grant money. That ain't really what we're really here for. But he just has to take the bait. Thank you for your patience. The professor would like to meet with you. Go right in. Thank you very much.
can't believe you managed to deceive your way past someone again. There we are. Hey, nothing I said was a lie. Not my fault if someone else takes what I said the wrong way. Bet you tell yourself that every day, huh? Yeah, you must be a real pro at this. I mean, it's not something to exactly be proud of. As your sudden embarrassment suggests. Embarrassment? It's embarrassment. I wish you would at least stop to think about the bad influence you might be having on Fairy.
So you're trying to blame all of this on me, are you?
Not at all. I'm in no way trying to suggest your latest research is the cause. If anything, the approach you're taking with your latest project rather fascinates me.
Does it now?
That being said, work on my own project has reached a critical juncture. I cannot afford any issues with net traffic at this time.
That certainly sounds like blame to me, Cronkite. You may be one of Professor Hamilton's students, but that doesn't give you the right to...
So sorry for the delay. Oh.
Who the devil are you? This is a restricted area, you know.
Not to worry, we have permission to be here. Could either of you direct us to Professor David Callahan's office?
So you're the ones I just heard about. We're finished here, Cronkite. Now if you would all follow me.
Huh? Funny ringing you. Whoa, what? Whoops.
We could say the same thing.
Mr. Arkwright? Do you have business here? Contra.
What are you doing here, Salazon? And who are these people with you?
They're the students here on an educational visitation from the capital. I've been assisting them during their stay. Professor Cronkite was gracious enough to extend us an invitation to visit him when we happened to see each other in town. So we asked Mr. Salesian if he could lead the way.
I do not believe I invited anyone but you, nor did I imply we would meet quite this soon. But I suppose chasing you away here would be more work than just humoring you. Very well, follow me.
Really?
It would be nothing short of incredible to see your work up close, Professor.
Well, we'll get out of your hair now. We apologize for the interruption. I can see that you're very busy, but it would be a pleasure to speak more on another occasion, Professor Callahan.
Oh, I suppose that can be arranged. It must be nice to have enough free time to spend on such frivolous nonsense as educational visitations. Well, come with me, I want to make this brief.
Of course, Professor.
Wait! I'd like to listen in on this conversation too, if you don't mind. As their guide, I suspect it has everything to do with me.
Take a 10-minute break. Do not return late.
Yes, Professor. Excuse us.
As you know, my name is David Callahan. I believe you're here to talk about Elsyme and Marduk investing in my research. That makes for a very interesting combination, if you don't mind me saying. What exactly led to this?
Is that what you were told? There seems to have been a misunderstanding. We're currently working for Elsyme, and we do have a Marduk employee with us, but that's all.
What?
We're currently in the middle of an investigation, you see, and the lead happened to bring us here. I want to follow up on a rumor that some extreme abuse of power has been taking place in the laboratory here. That's the face of a guy who's got something to tell.
Who asked you to investigate this?
Couldn't tell you. Didn't leave their name. But they did tell us all about what's been happening. See, we've been hearing about this ridiculous workload. Insane hours, and their colleagues have been forced to endure it all. About how they're never allowed any rest, or woefully underpaid. They receive vicious, constant verbal abuse from their superior, even to the point that someone collapsed from overwork and has been driven to the brink of suicide.
That's just...
We have all the testimony and evidence we need to act if that's what it comes to. But we thought it'd be better to come in here and hear your thoughts first.
Excuse me?
It's not too late to turn things around. So many people we spoke to were quick to say that you weren't always like this. They mentioned how they almost had trouble believing what you had become. We could see how afraid people are of you now, and they dislike what you've become. But at the same time, we could see how deeply they respect you.
We're not heroes of justice like the cops at the guild. We're just about finding common ground and putting things to right. As long as you're willing to work with us, we can...
That is enough! Don't talk to me about respect and then immediately resort to blackmail. I cannot believe that one of my assistants will try to set me up like this. Unbelievable. I give them a golden chance to help me obtain glory beyond their imagination, and this is how they choose to repay me.
How could you say that?
You know we've got evidence of what you're doing, right? You sure you want to pick this fight?
Do what you will with your evidence. All I have to do is cover it up. No one's going to believe some lowly assistants over an esteemed professor.
Professor?
I am one. No, 2 mere steps away from completing my research. And they pick now to sabotage my efforts. Very well. Then damn the human cost. I'll start working them to the bone to make up for their—
Listen to yourself, Professor! What has gotten into you? You used to be so kind and supportive. Professor Hamilton held you in such high regard. Even though I was one of her students, you would still take the time to look after me. I just can't understand why all you do lately is spit in the face of her achievements.
Katra, I suspected as much.
Sorry, that's a private matter between us. But please, at least stop and think about how you're treating the people who work under you. They took their positions because they dreamed of being like you. Don't belittle them or their work.
Salesian. Don't tell me what I can and can't do, you third-rate apprentice!
My god! Katra! What do you think you're doing?
Listen, asshole.
You're talking to the famous David Callahan, the preeminent scholar of engineering science and military technology, who has long upheld the very foundation of this nation's national defense. I've had enough of youngsters like Cronkite and Esmeralda acting like they're above me after all I've achieved. My latest research will propel Calvert to even greater heights, change the power balance of the entire continent. Why can no one understand just how much of a privilege it is to help with that?
Professor!
Well, you're free to have whatever lofty goals you want. But I think we've had our 10 minutes. Don't you?
Oh.
We came here to explain the situation and offer a solution we thought would benefit everyone. We're working to try and cover up all that evidence and testimonies we've gathered. But I promise you, it ain't gonna be easy. If you're as close to this revolution as you claim to be, then I'd give it another thinking through if I were you.
I'm done wasting time with you. I will be raising the issue of your illegal trespassing and applying brazeness with Master... well, whoever the fuck. I admit that I may have been a little too harsh. But as long as you intend to cling to Professor Hamilton instead of aiming for something more, I have no interest in you. Unless you see the benefits of developing your talents under me after all. I would wager that would be a far better use of your time than waiting like a little girl for an old woman who's long gone.
Excuse me. Catra! Pardon us.
Like a little girl.
There you are.
So this is what it looks like inside, huh?
It's so cool seeing the observatory. Is that the telescope?
That's right. Professor Hamilton had it specially made.
I'm sorry you had to witness that earlier, but I'm impressed you knew where to find me.
Just had a feeling. We're happy to forget what we saw as long as you forget about us forcing our way into the research building.
Van, behave. You can go ahead and have a seat over there. I'll go make us some tea. So, there aren't actually any astronomy professors here? Not at the moment. I'm the only one who comes here every day now. But there was a time when quite a few researchers and students who all adored Professor Hamilton would come. Even Professor Callahan would come from time to time. Oh, he never used to be like he is now. He's always seen Professor Hamilton as a rival, sure. But he used to be the friendly kind of rivalry that was beneficial to both sides. He taught me so much. He really must have changed then.
Yeah, from that to the uptight abusive asshole we saw earlier. Some kind of fall.
Professor Hamilton left the Republic 2 years ago, if I recall.
And you're one of her students.
That's right. I owe more to her than I can ever hope to repay. I've been looking after the observatory in her house since she left the country. Though, I think it's debatable whether I'm doing a good job of it. The CEO of Vern, Mr. Towson, is also one of the directors of the Institute's board. And he told me that he's considering shutting this place down because so few people are using it. Oh no.
So that's why you've been doing all these kinds of miscellaneous tasks.
That's awful. I really am sorry about earlier. I ended up interfering in your investigation. If I hadn't said anything.
Hey, don't sweat it. We ended up getting some useful info out of that whole outburst. My guess is you've noticed this by now too. But his piss-poor attitude isn't the only bad thing going on with him.
You really think so? I have the same feeling. It would explain why someone so respected has stooped to such irrational behavior.
Feels like the question is, what the hell is he trying to do that he's willing to go so far off the deep end?
The computer hardware in his laboratory was state-of-the-art. I suspect he's using it to perform vast calculations, the kind that would be equally difficult to properly manage. I agree. I've never seen a simulation of this extent before, and it seemed even that he was getting the results he wanted, that he wasn't. He couldn't be. No. Without... I see now.
Well, we better keep an eye on that guy for a while. We ain't in Basel for that long, but we're gonna be here for the next couple of days at least. Feels like we can afford to scratch each other's backs a bit, yeah? Whether that CEO wants us to or not.
Alright. I do have my doubts about you, but I believe that Agnes is worthy of my trust. So if anything comes up, I'll be sure to let you know. To keep what the professor left behind safe, if nothing else.
Nothing comes from not being honest with yourself, you know.
We'll be counting on you, Catra.
Sure seems like he's being honest with himself to me. Not trusting you is the right call.
You are very much in the same boat with him, with how boorish you are.
Excuse me? You trying to pick a fight, kiddo?
That's only proving my point, you know. Are you interested in the telescope? I just was wondering what it's like, that's all. It's only just past 5 o'clock, so we won't be getting a great view of the stars quite yet. But come with me. You might still be able to get a good view of the Great Shattered Triangle. Really? Yay!
Aw. Of course the two kids of the group would hit it off. You're also still a damn kid from my perspective. By the way, Onias, was it just me? Did you seem surprised by something when the professor was shouting up a storm?
It wasn't just you.
I cannot believe one of my own assistants will try to set me up like this. Unbelievable. I gave them a golden chance to help me obtain glory beyond their imagination, and this is how they choose to repay me.
So, it picked then of all times to shine. It's not doing it now, though. Do you think it could just be a coincidence?
You gotta wonder. Not like it'd be the first time it's shown at an odd time, like when we first ran into Grimcat.
Whoa! What's this room for? Odette? What brings you all here? Found you! We've been looking for all of you.
We couldn't find you anywhere in the main building, so we wondered if you might be here.
Sorry for putting you guys out.
Well, not all of us are here for you.
So this is their giant telescope. I've seen one in the Imperial Museum too, but it's so cool.
Oh, can we take a look through it?
It's nice seeing this place this lively again. It's been so long.
'Cause every night I will sing